In order to do number 5, we should probably recall what our answers were for 4. And for 4, this guy was y equals, and what did I get for my a? Was it 2? 2 or negative? So it's 2 times x plus 4 and x minus 2 squared. And for this one, it was 2 times x minus 3 and x squared plus 9. If you have any questions on how I got that example, that answer for 4b, you'll have to watch that in a separate video. It's under 4b. So check that out. The focus here is for getting number 5. So how do we now expand those? And we'll do a here. And then we'll do b. The first thing I have to recommend here is when you have a leading dilation constant, that 2, ignore it. Just leave it there until the end. Don't let that 2 get involved at the beginning, because some students will want to distribute it, all the way through, and that's incorrect. You don't do that. All right? If you only multiplied it by the x and the 4, that would actually be an okay first step. But since that can be confusing, I'd rather you just let it sit there until the end. The first thing that I'm going to do here is leave the first 2 alone. And think about what x minus 2 squared means. And it's that. So let's leave the red stuff alone and only work on the blue. Help me FOIL it. X squared, x times x, minus 4x, because you have the outside inside, plus 4. Okay, so that's the expansion or the foiling of x minus 2 squared. Next, to multiply this, you have to take the x times all 3 of these, and then the 4 times all 3 of these. That's how you do that. It's 2 terms times 3 terms. So you need to make sure that each of these 2 terms gets multiplied by each of these 3, or all 3. So again, I'm going to leave the 2 alone. And what do you get when you do the first? X times x squared, x times negative 4x, x times 4, plus 4x squared, minus 16x, 4 times 4, plus 16. Ignore that first parenthesis. So before we distribute that 2, let's clean up the inside of the parentheses. The x cubed doesn't have anybody to combine with. Yeah, the negative 4x squared and the positive 4x squared cancel. The positive 4x and the negative 16x become negative 12x. And then you got the plus 16 on the end. Finally, distribute the 2 and you're done, and we'll be in general form. 2x cubed minus 24x plus 32. And that's the expansion of that polynomial, which was in factored form but is now in general. Sorry about that. Having trouble controlling the volume of my voice. So here we go. With B, you want to distribute that too? Thank you. Not until the end. Instead, let's FOIL this. Squared. And they're a bit out of order, right? I should have had the x squared before the x. My fault. I'm going to rearrange them when I distribute the 2. 2x cubed. Let's write the x squared one next, because that's normal. minus 6x squared, then the 18x, and then minus 54. So that's A and B. Did you notice that the number on the end, 32, and negative 54? Back in number 4 were the what? Y-intercept.